Terrence Jones and Darius.
A little bit more productive today, but we didn't expect Toledo to lose both of its best players on each side of the ball.
Well, I think that's been a real crucial thing. In fact, they actually in some way have lost 3 players. Dan Moles hurt on the first play of the game and not playing at all. Now David Floyle and their leading rusher. So 2 great players on both sides of the ball, but we have not seen Terrence Owens either. And I'm not certain if it's not. He's probably hurt a little bit more. We'll see, because they talked about he would play, and I think Danton has done okay, but the reality is they need a spark right now. And we'll see Moles here get hit on this first kickoff, and he went to the ground, and I think they thought he might have been out for a second. I don't know if it's a concussion, neck or shoulder, but it's been not good for the Rockets. Then obviously Flewellen re-injuring that ankle, unable to get off. And then the big play of the game has been Chucky Keaton, and probably the player of the game so far. This option run, he finishes it so well, and he's done a nice job throwing the ball too.
Second longest run of the season for Keaton. Let's check in once again with Quint Kessenich now.
Coach, what was the single key development in the first half?
Well, you know, we didn't play very good on offense. That was the biggest issue for us. I think the defense is doing a nice job. We took care of the football. We got to sustain some drives if we're going to win the game.
What needs to change?
Consistency in the run game. You know, we're getting off pace. We're not getting in good positions. We got to stay in control down scenarios and take shots when we get them, but we got to run the ball better.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Quint, thanks. Here's a look at the first half numbers. Utah State has run for 113 yards today. The majority of those coming from the quarterback Chucky Keaton, who has 88 and is averaging 11 yards a carry after that long touchdown run. And time of possession, you know, basically both coaching staffs told us they don't really care about time of possession in a game like this.
I think it's less meaningful. It's who scores the points. Yardage doesn't matter. Time of possession doesn't matter. What matters is points.
So the second half underway here in Boise. And from the goal line, this is Chuck Jacobs. Jacobs trying to find the outside, and he scrambles out of bounds, taking it to the 24. Chucky Keaton, a sophomore quarterback from Houston out of Cypress Creek High School, came into this season after retooling a lot of his mechanics, especially lower body mechanics. It's made him into a better passer, and he still, obviously, as we've seen before, can run. He's thrown for 130 yards today, and he's averaging 11 yards a carry on the ground.
That passing platform for a young quarterback makes a lot of difference when balls will finish for you on the deep ball. And that's a lot of the stuff is just how do you stand. We talk about a passing posture.
Kerwin Williams will start the second half on the ground. It gets wrestled down to the ground at the line of scrimmage by Trent Voss into a starting role today at the outside linebacker spot.
That's one of the plays they ran at the end of the first half that generated big yardage. Nice job by Toledo, makes some adjustments or recognizing that power running game inside, not allowing the running back to get started. Coach Anderson not very happy about that either.
You know what, but Utah State fans should be happy that Gary Anderson is not only on the sideline here today, but he's going to remain on the sideline in Logan for years to come after numerous overtures as they prepared for this bowl. Chucky Keaton goes deep. And a fine grab and play on the ball by Matt Austin to set up Utah State in Toledo territory.
And that's exactly what we have talked about in terms of that. Throw the ball up where your guy can get it. Let him use his height advantage and his strength. You see here, he gets away with a little bit of a push off, but the reality is he times it so perfectly.
Back to throw Keaton again. Looking to Austin. Another push, and that one will draw the flag.
There was initial push early from the defensive player, and then finally he pushed off, and obviously going to call it against the offensive player. They like that.
Offense, number 4. 15-yard penalty. Remains first down.
They like that matchup. Obviously, they talked at halftime about we're getting some one-on-one situations. Let's go to Austin. Let's put the ball up for him. But obviously, there, put the hands on, pushed off right as the ball came down. That's the way he gained the advantage. Great call by the officials.
Cheatham Norrells, the cornerback sophomore from Toledo, with the coverage, and Austin will take a play off here. Now it's 1st and 25. Back on the wrong side of the 50. They get it out to Chuck Jacobs, and Jacobs will take it past midfield. Voss there to break it up with Byron Best.
Much better throw that time, allowing the running back / wide receiver to catch the ball on the move and then split the defenders, get back a significant chunk of yardage, trying to get to a manageable 3rd down now.
Jacobs takes a breather. Keaton's gets bumped as he throws, and that is at the sideline, and they're going to say complete. And that is a manageable 3rd down that they're looking at now after that great grab by Bruce Natson and fantastic footwork.
They ran a play action pass to give him time, and then he drops his hand. That's one of those bad mechanics things, but this is a great job of just touching that toe down inbounds. You only need one at the college level. Great concentration and great awareness to put that toe down.
So 3rd and 5 after a couple of passes from Chucky Keaton. They've turned predominantly to the pass game since the break. Blitz coming up the middle. Keaton lets it go complete right at the sticks, and it'll depend on the spot. Cameron Webb hauled it in, and they're going to mark that one past the yellow line.
Yeah, they gave him the 1st down. The official down here marked it definitely. Thought he caught the ball across. Great job of hanging on to the ball in traffic, too.
Cameron Webb, a former walk-on. This Utah State team is littered with guys that came to school and paid their own way to start. And a big chunk of them from right there in state. Another play action as Keaton dips and throws. Nearly picked. Mark Singer had a play on the ball, and that will bring up 2nd and 10.
Mark Singer is one of those veterans back there playing hurt. He's missed some games this year. He's been dinged up, but he's not going to miss this game. He's going to find a way to make a play. He reads the quarterback side. You can see him right there breaking on the ball, does a great job, and almost picks it off. Somewhat ill-advised throw by Chucky.
Once this bowl ends, it'll be a busy season for the doctors in Toledo. They have a number of postseason surgeries already slated for Monday. Singer is one of them to get some work done on that knee. Chuck Jacobs, no gain.
I think they talked about 8 surgeries that are going to have to take place in the offseason, and you're right. That's not that unusual, but it just shows the toughness of these guys to play through these things and then offset the surgery till the end of the season.
And a couple of those key players in the defensive side, not only Singer, but also Danny Farr, senior tackle, also playing injured. Another 3rd and long for Utah State. Keaton scrambles, flag on the play. Well short of the 1st down. Junior Silvestri escorts Keaton out of bounds.
And that usually looks like the territory where they call holding.
And what a big difference, Coach.
Holding. Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
What a big difference going from what was 3rd and 10 to 3rd and 6.
You're right. And now the question is whether they might decline this and let them kick a field goal. I think they should take it to get them out of field goal range.
That penalty is declined. Brings up 4th down.
Huh. They just let them have a field goal then. That's an interesting development, and I would not have done it that way. I think if he has to think this over again, he might say, why did we do that?
Well, it'll be a long field goal attempt. And so far today, Diaz has hit 1 from 27. It was a chip shot. This will be a 44-yard attempt. His long is 53. This is about the same distance from where they faked it before. They let him kick it away. And Diaz hits his 2nd field goal of the game.
Nice job. Not a lot of doubt on that one. He just jammed that right through.
So Toledo declines a penalty, and Utah State turns it into 3. And the 2nd field goal of the game for Nick Diaz. Aggies with a touchdown advantage here in the 2nd half in Boise. Back at the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, folks, that is a 2-ton spud on a flatbed. You know how many thousands of pounds of bacon bits you'd need to dress that thing up?
Is that a spud on steroids right there? They better have some testing going on out there.
HGH potato.
Wow.
And that guy stole your French fry hat, Mike.
And my chips. My whole dinner there, right? Come on.
Number 22, Utah State with a touchdown lead. We have not seen much from the dynamic Bernard Reedy, who was the MVP of the Military Bowl last year with 3 touchdowns and 126 yards of receptions. He's also a great kick returner.
And as this game wears on, he's going to become a bigger factor because Toledo's done really a great job. It's a one-possession ball game. They get a break one way or the other, a turnover or bust Reedy loose. This is a tied game.
2 kickoff returns for touchdowns this season for Reedy. And he is backed up and will bring it out after hesitating. Reedy trying to find the edge. He gets there and has the sideline. Key block to take it past the 30.
Sometimes those delayed coming out of the end zone actually serves an advantage because the defense or coverage team can overrun their assignment lanes. But he does a nice job. He has no fear, absolutely, no fear of taking that ball out. If I had his speed, I'd do it too.
Oh, you keep eating all those potato chips, you're not going to have his speed. It's Austin Danton back at quarterback for Toledo. Question as to whether or not Terrence Owens would see time at quarterback today. We have yet to see him. David Pasquale with the carry on first down and muscles his way to a gain of nearly 5. Kyler Fackrell with the stop. We talked about it before the second half began, Coach. The odds of seeing Terrence Owens grow slimmer by the play because Danton was less than perfect in the first half.
Absolutely. He was okay, but they needed a spark. They talked about both would play early and then they go with the hot hand. The fact that Terrence Owens has not played, I think, probably speaks more to his physical condition. He's probably not as healthy as they want him to be, or it may not have loosened up today in the cold weather as well as he hoped.
Danton 7 of 13, 108 yards in the first half. He was sacked twice. Here comes pressure again, and he slings it out short of the marker to Cordell Scott, the Illinois transfer. Let's check in once again with Quinn.
Coach, I really agree with your thought about Owens, his health. For the first time today, coming out to start this third quarter, I saw him limp out of the locker room. I think being in there, standing around on that ankle, certainly didn't help things. For the first time, he looked injured. Thought he warmed up pretty well early, but now it's starting to tighten up on him.
Last year, Terrence Owens carried this Toledo team down the stretch, final 3 games of the season in the bowl victory. Now it's Austin Danton. His 25th career start, but a bench player for the majority of the season. To the slant for a first down, but a flag. And Nevin Lawson wrestles Bernard Reedy to the ground.
Where that came from, it looks like a defensive holding call because you're looking either thinking pass interference on offense or defensive holding.
CFO West crew led by Eddie Shelton.
Holding. Defense. Number 36. 10-yard penalty. First down.
McCade Brady, the senior from Cove, Utah, BYU transfer. Started his college career as a track star in Provo. And he's bouncing back from a broken jaw. Didn't play against Idaho. His jaw has been wired shut. They open it up just in time for him to enjoy a meaty prime rib this week.
And I guarantee he loved that because that wired jaw means a liquid diet, which guys don't appreciate too much.
Reedy out of the backfield on first down, and he takes it to the 45-yard line, a gain of 6. And so there's one way you can get Bernard Reedy more involved is to put him in the backfield.
Yeah, I think they're going to find a myriad of ways to try to get the ball into his hands because he has the breakaway speed, the game-breaking skills they need.
Over 1,000 yards receiving for the all-conference wide receiver. And they give him the lead blocker here. Reedy bounces it to the outside and a first down.
They may do more steady diet of this because he's not afraid to run inside, but he's got the power. If they close too fast, he can bounce it out and turn it up. He's a threat.
Zach Rosenbauer, the tight end, in there as an H-back fullback now with Reedy.
You know, McCade Brady, one thing too, what a tough guy. After he broke his jaw, he snuck back in the game a little bit, and now he's back his first time getting real live hits off a broken jaw.
Reedy tripped up. Another nice gain on first down. Devontae Glover right. They said one of the issues when Brady came back into the game, with the broken jaw. After he snuck away from the training staff, they had packed his jaw, his mouth full of gauze to try and stop the bleeding. Well, he calls a lot of the coverages from his safety spot. No one could understand a word he was saying because he was talking with a mouthful of cotton.
Like Marlon Brando in The Godfather.
How does man free sound coming from Marlon Brando? Pascal's still in there at running back, and Danton's going to take off on his own. Quarterback run, and he crawls forward for 2. Jake Dowdy, former walk-on first-team all-conference performer there for the stop, coming off of a 12-tackle performance against Idaho. He's another one of those Utah kids that walked onto the program, and Gary Anderson doing a great job building the program with kids from in-state, now up to 55 on the roster.
Absolutely, and they're getting quality kids that are coming on as walk-ons, then becoming so good to put on scholarship. They help turn this program around.
Two of their starting linebackers are former walk-ons. 3rd and 3. Danton checks again, and the play clock rolling down again, and he's got to burn a timeout. When we come back, I want to know how much of that is on the quarterback and how much of that is on the coaching staff. Toledo will be facing a 3rd and 3 when we return to Boise.
ESPN College Football, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, is brought to you by the Idaho Potato Commission, ProjectLuna.com, and the Experience Buick Lease. It's a new lease on luxury.
Welcome back to Boise. That's the inside of the Boise Fry Company, voted as the best fries in the country, and Mike Bellotti now knows where he's going for dinner tonight.
And lunch tomorrow, and
13-6, Utah State leads Toledo. So far today, Austin Danton has had to burn 2 timeouts, and they've taken 1 delay of game penalty due to the play clock. They're playing without their starting running back. They, at least a half dozen times, have been in the danger zone with the play clock winding down. Now a 3rd and 3. Danton wants to scramble and eyes up, and he picks up the first down and tripped up inside the 15-yard line. A great run.
Great job, great awareness. When it's all closed like that, nobody left in the middle, get past the first wave and make the first down. I don't think it's been Austin Danton's fault. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to put that on the coaches. They've got to do much less check with me and just call plays to avoid letting the defense fool them.
14-yard scramble by Danton on 3rd down.
Also, when you're behind in the second half, you don't need to waste timeouts because of that.
Down by a touchdown. Rosenbauer motions. They get Reedy in the backfield, and play action to him, to the end zone. Tipped and picked! Utah State with the interception. Kyler Fackrell, the freshman, with his 3rd pick of the season. And the Aggies stop the Toledo drive with a takeaway.
What they say, rips, strips, bats, and picks, right? And that's exactly what happened. Got that ball booted around, tried to head the play action, had the receiver open for the touchdown, too. And that's a dagger in the heart of Toledo to be down there. You see the fake right there? And a great job. The ball tipped and batted right there. Great job of team defense.
2 all-conference linebackers team up. Dowdy with the tip, Fackrell with the interception.
That's one of the things, too, that Utah State talks about is eyes to the football. Get more eyes on the ball.
Here's Kerwin Williams. And Williams with some momentum. Jermaine Robinson finally with the stop. I want to go back to what you said, eyes to the football. And it goes back to how Utah State plays defense in many ways. It's not a true zone in some ways?
Well, if you play more zone, some people play a lot of man-to-man or matchup zone where the guys turn their back and just chase down the routes. But when you get more eyes to the football by playing true zone where everybody's eyes are to the ball and to the quarterback.
2nd and 3. Here's Kerwin Williams. Can't stiff arm his way away from Cheatham Norrells, and there's a flag on the play.
I think to add injury to insult, it's going to be against Utah State.
Holding. Offense. Number 74. 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Kerwin Williams is trying to state his case near the open microphone. Kevin Wimpy, one of the 2 Wimpy brothers on that offensive line, both from Highland, Utah. His brother Kyle is the right guard, transfers from Idaho State.
As this game continues, Utah State needs to be able to rely on Kerwin Williams to run the football, run the clock, and keep the ball away from Toledo. Look for him to have an enlarged role here.
Bunch to the far side. They go there for the screen. This is Williams. He's got room, and Williams makes a move past the 40. Robert Bell finally brings him down. A pickup of 21 on the screen to Kerwin Williams.
And that's when the more times he touches the ball, the more chance and opportunity for explosive play.
And now running the ball after the catch. Picks up 3. Junior Silvestri with the stop.
You know, he's a young man. That ball's not very heavy. He can carry it a lot.
Williams, senior from Las Vegas, had 0 scholarship offers at the FBS level coming out of Valley High School, and he made his hometown team pay. He absolutely torched UNLV in their game earlier this season, and soon to be conference opponent as Utah State makes the move to the Mountain West. Back to the ground, and Joe Hill this time. Sophomore from Fullerton, California. Utah State has a couple of wins against Mountain West teams this season, including Colorado State. They are on the upswing and will fit in well with a lot of that talent in the Mountain West.
No question. They're hitting it at a high point for themselves in terms of confidence in the program and improved recruiting that will help them compete.
Already have a win against Utah this season. 2 losses came on the road at Wisconsin. A late punt return for the Badgers gave them the lead. A missed field goal there and a missed field goal against BYU. Their only losses, both coming on the road. Off the hands of the intended receiver. There's a bullet to Kellen Bartlett. We mentioned this earlier as well in terms of Utah State head coach Gary Anderson. He has said no to a couple of raises that could have been in his back pocket heading into the holiday season.
Well, he was a very sought-after coach, and I think what he's doing now is trying to get money for his assistants. It's one thing when you get there and you have great assistants, you've got to be able to keep them, and you want to increase that salary pool for the assistants.
On 4th down, they'll punt it away, or at least show punt. Gary Anderson has never lived east of Park City, Utah for any stretch of time, so he is right at home there in the Beehive State. Played at the University of Utah and coached there for a number of years. Reedy backs all the way to the 2. Still wants to gamble and bring it out. And he's tackled from behind and takes it out to the 7-yard line. So Bernard Reedy trying to make something happen. May have cost his team some field position.
Yeah, probably 13 to 15 yards there. The reality is, though, at this point in the game, I know he's getting anxious, too. He wants to handle that football, give him every opportunity.
It was a 51-yard punt and a 5-yard return. Uphill climb for Toledo to come. Capital One Bowl Week is available live anytime, anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone at WatchESPN.com and with the Watch ESPN app. Tom Hart with Mike Bellotti, Quinn Kesnick down on the blue turf for Boise. And Toledo backed up a little bit, but still a 1-possession game for a pair of teams who played every loss this season within 1 possession. So they are both very familiar with where they stand here. Austin Danton at quarterback for Toledo. And a hand up to Bernard Reedy, saying plenty of time at tailback, and he takes it out to the 10. Will Davis forces him out of bounds. Toledo's 3 losses this season have come by a touchdown. Utah State's 2 losses have come by a total of 5 points. Is that an advantage on a day like today when you have a 1-possession game late in the 3rd?
Absolutely. They both know how to hang around. They both know how to win. They both know how to finish games. Those 5 losses were the 5 bowl teams, 2 who are going to BCS games. So these guys have played great competition over the year.
Wisconsin and Northern Illinois headed to the Orange Bowl. The 2 teams that will be playing in BCS bowls that were on these 2 team slates. On 2nd down, Danton to the 14. A couple yards shy of the 1st down to Reedy, and Will Davis with the coverage.
Interesting 3rd and 2. Long 2 sets up a lot of things. The offense can go for it with a power running play. They can run a play action, slip it back in the flat, or they can say the heck with it, strong play action, and go deep and try to win the game right here. Or tie it up, I should say.
Well, instead of bringing the power back in, they go with Cassius McDowell. Pascal stays on the sideline for now. And Reedy will head out to a slot.
Part of that confusion, that puts a lot of stress on the quarterback. You're down inside of 5 seconds already in the play clock.
With one, they get it off. Danton stands tall, complete, and a first down grab made by Justin Olak, sophomore from Shady Side, Ohio.
I think they might have changed their mind on what personnel group and what play they wanted, and they've got to be better at that on third downs.
Danton able to convert there, 1st and 10 now, and there's the check again. He's thrown for 122 yards, but the last possession ended on a pick after a lengthy drive against the Aggies. Danton pressured, got a man wide open. Reedy, he couldn't haul it in.
Really a nice throw under pressure by Danton. He got hit and was on the move, but he put that ball out there where only Reedy could catch it. And with Reedy's speed, he made a great effort to get to the football. We watch his play action. They're moving the pocket, try to buy some time, throwing, get hit just as he threw, and the ball's right there. And I think Reedy probably should have had that.
Still waiting for a big play from Bernard Reedy.
You know, in that turnover in the red zone, we probably should have been surprised. Utah State is, I think, 3rd in the nation in red zone defense.
And once again, a delay a game against Toledo. That's a 2nd against the Rockets today, and they burned 2 timeouts trying to avoid
delay a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
You have to know as a coach and as a quarterback, if you have motion involved with the play, it's got to be set up faster.
For more on that confusion, let's check in quickly with Quint.
Well, that was a situation where Bernard Reedy, after the drop, was tired, but the bench didn't initially see that he was coming off, so his sub was on there late. The prior 3rd down, they sent in 2 different personnel packages.
On 2nd and long, they turn to the running game. And McDowell on the left side stays alive with the helmets coming off. And that'll set up a 3rd and long. Nielsen's got to come off for 1 play. They're using Bernard Reedy a lot. Obviously, he's out there on the special teams in the return game and now turning to him in the backfield. So you can imagine that he did need a break. 3rd and 9. 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, he's seen quite a bit of touches of the football here lately, both with special teams, from the backfield, throwing the ball down the field, and they're going to use him more as this game goes on.
You'd love to have him on the field here on a 3rd and 9. Danton, complete short of the sticks to Dwight Macon. That'll bring up 4th and a few. Jake Dowdy with the stop for Utah State. Does there come a time where you have to prioritize when your playmaker is on the field and where?
Yes, but sometimes the physical part, you know, if he's that tired, it doesn't feel like he can go as much as you say, hey, we need you here. But, you know, the health and his ability to play and go full speed overrules everything.
So Reedy gets a break, but not the break they wanted because Toledo will have to punt it away. Fair catch at the 33 by Cameron Webb. Here's something Mike Bellotti knows all about. The Rose Bowl is on ESPN New Year's Day as senior running back Monte Ball leads the Badgers against the Cardinals' vaunted D and the granddaddy of them all. The Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio, Wisconsin versus number 6 Stanford. Coverage begins at 4:30 New Year's Day on ESPN and also live on the Watch ESPN app. It's a nice ring you have on, Coach.
Thank you. Yes, that is a Rose Bowl ring, and I've been there a couple times and enjoyed it. And that'll be a heck of a slugfest with those 2 teams.
Brett Bielema calling the Hogs down in Arkansas, and Wisconsin looking at a coaching change. Kerwin Williams right into the heart of that Toledo defense, but he keeps churning and will pick up a few.
Well, and you know the head coach will be Barry Alvarez for Wisconsin in that game, and he's won a couple Rose Bowls, so it's a pretty good guy to pull back off the bench.
Yeah, not bad call to the bullpen when you can bring in some experience like that.
Well, and I was kidding somebody. I said, you know, he might get to a 4th and 1. He said, go for it. What the heck? What are you going to do, fire me? I mean, he's the AD and the football coach.
After the play, personal foul, Defense, number 46, unnecessary roughness. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Hank Keithley, and that's a mistake that Toledo cannot afford at this point in the game.
No, you can ill afford to do that. Oftentimes, that's the second guy, at the bottom of the pile, and it just it's frustrating for everybody involved.
Punched Williams in the back. Could be worse. Could be Arizona. They were throwing haymakers at each other. Here's Keaton now to throw on 1st and 10. To the perimeter, Matt Austin. And Austin muscles his way for a gain of nearly 8. Chris Dukes, redshirt freshman from Cincinnati Colerain with the coverage, and there's a flag on the play.
That's another late hit type thing. Getting a little bit extracurricular down there. Looks as if it's going to go against Utah State, and we may have just offset that 15-yard penalty.
After the play, personal foul, offense number 91, unnecessary roughness. 15-yard penalty, remains first down.
DJ Tialavea, junior from West Jordan, Utah, gets flagged. And first meeting between these two teams, it's the MAC versus the WAC.
Dead ball foul creates second down.
And we believe he meant 81, Kellen Bartlett, senior tight end.
One of the things as a coach you've got to say is you've got to let all that stuff go. Just play our game. Don't get involved in the talking or anything after the whistle.
On 2nd and 18. Deep ball, incomplete. Trying to find Chuck Jacobs, overthrown.
There's room down the field against that Toledo defense. In the middle of the field, the deep crossing routes, the inside post routes, it's there if Chucky Keaton can connect. Third and very, very long. So you have to be careful again about the same area of the field. The seam throws there are the type of throws that can get this first down.
Going to go 5 wide, motioning Williams out. Setting up the screen. And Bruce Natson can't make his way to midfield. Open field tackle will stop him there. Nice play by Toledo's defense. 3 quarters are in the books, and we've got a touchdown game headed to the 4th here in Boise. Number 22, Utah State with the lead 13-6 over Toledo.